Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to fellow audience. Firstly, I think it's not too late. Wishing Selamat Hari Raya to all my Muslim friends. Okay, my name is Muhammad Asfar Mijasmi. I am a moderator for this webinar. Today in a webinar, we will discussing about the definition of obesity and how the characteristic of a person living with obesity. And next, we will also find out the causes, effect, and how to overcome this problem. That we will talk by four panel. First panel is Dr. Rizman. Okay, Dr. Rizman Shakif. Second is Dr. Lokman. Third panel is Dr. Kaiser Liu. And last panel is Dr. Al-Muzam Shah Arif. Okay, for the introduction, we will start with Dr. Rizman as the health expert. Okay, Dr. Man. Okay, Dr. Man lah. Okay, can you explain more about what is the most accurate meaning of obesity? Okay, please, Dr. Rizman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Asfar, as a moderator for this webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to my fellow panelists, Dr. Al-Muzam Shah, Dr. Lokman, and Dr. Kaziliu. Okay, first of all, I want to thank you to the organizer for inviting me to be a part of panelists to give a little bit talk about this obesity. Okay, for the question that Mr. Asfar asked me before, what is obesity? Alright, according to the World Health Organization, overweight and obesity are defined as abnormal or excessive fat that presents a risk to health. Okay, as we know, nowadays people think that obesity and overweight are the same thing. But in reality, obesity and overweight is a different thing. When obesity is more fat amount in our body than overweight. Okay, how we can know that we are obese or not, right? Okay, firstly, that I said before, we can know that obesity is more fat amount in our body, but we can know that we are having obese or not with BMI, which is body mass index. Okay, what is body mass index? Body mass index is a calculation that takes a person's weight and height into account to measure body size. Alright, I think we all know about BMI, right? That very common to all of us in our school life when we are doing segak for pendidikan jasmani. Okay, a body mass index is a measurement obtained by dividing a person's weight by the square of the person's height that I said before lah. Okay. A body mass index also over 25 is considered as overweight and over 30 is obese. Okay, for your information, BMI has four classes, which is first one is below 18.5. We call it as underweight. Between 18.5 until 25, we call it as normal. Between 25 until 30 is pre-obesity or overweight, or we call it as overweight. And above 30 is obesity. Alright, obesity is associated with a higher risk for serious disease such as diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and cancers, and many more. Alright, BMI or body mass index provides the most useful population level measure of overweight and obesity, as it is the same for both sexes, the women and men, and for all ages of adults. Alright, that I said before, the four classes of BMI, that is for adults, that is over 20 years. Okay, what about the childhood obesity? For a doctor to diagnose a child over 2 years or a teen with obesity, their BMI has to be in the 95th percentile for people of their same age and biological sex. Okay, for childhood obesity, we have four classes of percentile range of BMI, which is below 5% of percentile range, we call it as underweight. 5% to 85%, we call it as normal. 85% to between 85% and 95, we call it as overweight or pre-obesity, like before. And lastly is 95% or over, we call it as obesity. Alright, we can refer to the WHO or World Health Organization report in February 2002 that it's clearly show that this problem or this obesity is a very critical problem, as we know that this problem reached an epidemic stage globally, with at least 2.8 million people dying each year due to overweight or obesity. Alright, we can note at the report, we can search it at website. In 2019, an estimate 38.2 million children under the age of 5 years old were overweight or obese. Uh, these things happen considered a high income country problem. Overweight and obesity are now on the rise in low and middle income countries, particularly in urban settings. Alright, that is for general knowledge about obesity. But what is happening in Malaysia about this obesity problem? Right. In Malaysia, we have what we call it as National Health and Mobility Survey, NHMS, and we can see in 2019, NHMS found that 50.1% adults that having overweight or obese, and these findings is not very encouraging because it shows an increasing trend to of the category compared to the same studies of to the same studies in the previous year. For example, in 2011, the overweight category, it was only around 29.4%. We can see at the website, and we can see at the National Health and Mobility Survey that the highest group facing this problem is women, Indian, and also the age range is the group age between 55 years old until 59. Alright, for last from me is obesity is a chronic medical condition that increases our risk of diseases and health problem. So obesity can also affect our quality of life and lead to psychological problems such as depression, low self-esteem, shame, guilt, and also social isolation. That's from me.
Okay, thank you for giving a very in-depth explanation from Dr. Rizman. Okay, so from Dr. Rizman explanation early, we can conclude that obesity in Malaysia is no longer something that is not taken seriously, which is result of the National Health and Morbidity Survey (NHMS) 2019. found that 50.1% of adult are either overweight or obese, and 30.4% are overweight, while 19.7% are obese. This is matter is very worrying. But before we going to ask about the main causes of obesity, I would like to ask this question to Dr. Lokman. Hello, Dr. Lokman.
Yes.
Okay. What the characteristic of a person living with obesity? Can you explain?
Okay. Thank you to Dr. Asfa as moderator. Okay. So, obesity can cause a variety of signs and symptoms. The most common symptom of obesity is obesity. People who are obese often have excess fat in the abdomen, thighs, lower arm, neck, and face. Also, they will find that their clothes no longer fit their bodies, and they have to wear new clothes that are large in size. Their weight is also higher compared to others who have the same height, age, and gender as them. In addition to body shape change, obesity can also affect the quality of daily activities. Uh, One of the most noticeable symptoms of obesity is fatigue, especially during physical activities such as gardening, car washing, and exercising. Any activity that requires a lot of energy, such as running, will cause fatigue in a short time only. In addition, they easily become short of breath during physical activity. People who are obese are also prone to sweating, and this condition can cause unpleasant body odor. So, people who are obese always feel lifeless and often rest because they use a lot of energy to move their heavy body parts. Large bodies are harder to control, and movement and reflex will be slower. Their spines and legs had to support their weight on a daily basis. Therefore, they often suffer from back pain, low back pain, and knee pain. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, very simple. Thank you for the excellent explanation, Dr. Lokman. Okay, from the previous explanation, we can list the main characteristic obese, which is people who are obese often have excess fat in the abdomen, things lower arm and neck and face. Also, they will find that their all clothes are no longer fit their bodies and they have to wear new clothes that are largest in size. Is that right, Dr. Loman? Okay, now how about we talk more about the main causes of obesity? I would like to ask Dr. Yu. Okay, what is main causes of obesity?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Iswan, as my moderator, and all panel in and all everyone. Good evening. Okay. First, I want to be talking about the main causes of the obesity. Obesity was caused by the increase of the residential activity, lacking physical activity, and unhealthy eating behavior, which was resulted from the interaction of the complex multi-factors such as biology factor, psychology factor, and the complex context force of the social factor. Sanitarian people burn fewer calories than people who are active. The natural health and the nutrition estimation surveys, nonsense showed a strong correlation between the physical inactive and the view gene in the both sex. For some people, emotion influence eating behavior. Many people eating is increasingly in the response to emotion such as the bloated, sadness, stress, or anger. Well, most overview people have no physiology distant than the normal view of people. About 20% of the people who since of treatment of serious view problem have the deficient with the bean eating. Um, in the biology factor, there are genetic effect hormone evolution in the fat liquidation. For example, one genetic cause of the obesity is leptin deficiency. Leptin is a hormone product in fat cells and in the placenta. Leptin control view by the stimulate the brain to eat less when the body fat storage are too high. For some reason, uh, the body cannot produce enough leptin, or the leptin cannot send the brain to eat less. This control is lost and obesity occurs. Uh, told that there Dr. Isman is showing that data about have many adult have observe the obesity, but the obesity also can observe at the any age, even in the young children. But as the age, hormonal change and less activity lifestyle increase the risk of the obesity. In addition, the amount of the muscle in the body tend to the decrease with the age. Generally, lower muscle may lead to a decrease in the metabolism. This change also reduce calorie rate and can make it harder to keep off the excess weight. If do not consistently control what to eat and become more physically active as the age, it is like Jane view. There's a link between social issue and the obesity. Sort like lack of the money of the to purchase the healthy food, or lack of the safe place to work or exercise can increase the risk of the obesity. Okay, thank you. That is for me. Thank you. I give it back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Liu. A very clear explanation from Dr. Liu. Okay, about the causes of this obesity, Dr. Liu explained. All right. From this explanation, we can learn more about the main causes, such as the increase of sedentary activities, um, lacking physical activities, and unhealthy eating behavior. And in biological factor, their genetic effect, hormone involved in fat regulation. Also, for some people, obesity happen when emotion influence their eating habits. We had to know about more about the causes. We can avoid avoid and be able to practice a healthy lifestyle. Without without wasting our time, I would like to ask Dr. Al-Muzamshah to talk more about the effect and how we overcome this problem. Okay, Dr. Al-Muzamshah, please.
Assalamualaikum and very good evening for all audience and all panel. Thanks for moderator for give me chance to explain about of obesity and how to deal and overcome about obesity cases. Okay, first of all, my name is Al-Muzam Arif. Now, I want to talk and explain all of you about obesity cases. Okay, firstly, my opinion is obesity is my first opinion about obesity is what is the meaning obesity? Okay, here condition is which is a person has a excess fat in the body that can have a detrimental effect on their health. Obesity also can will happen uh, to everyone, regardless age, gender, and skin color. According to expert, what I researched, Sultan Ayub Mio, 2019, saying worldwide, more than 1.9 billion adults 16 years and older are overweight and 650 million are obese. Over 41 million children under the age of 5 and 340 million children are adolescent aged 5 to 19 are overweight or obese globally. Okay, what you see and listen, my opinion and explanation, you can see that obesity is very dangerous cases in the world, from children to older have obesity cases. What I can say what I can say, if you don't handle about cases immediately, maybe you can give you more chronic cases such as diabetes, heart attack, and other diseases. Okay. Second, my second opinion, I want to talk about effect of obesity for human and obesity. Okay. The health aspect due to obesity is the most significant effect due to excess fat in the patient body. Okay, people who are obese are 6 times more likely to have a heart attack cases, because obesity is contribute the heart attack diseases, and also obesity can give the other easy to suspectable for more dangerous diseases. Okay, according to expert Mutana Dia Ahmed, 2017, cardiovascular disease, CVD, including coronary heart disease, CHD, and stroke is a major contributor toward burden of disease, ranking currently as the most important cases. The most important cause of death and producing substantial disability and reduced well-being among surviving people. However, diabetes is closely linked to obesity and can give a risk for patients to chronic cases too. In the Malaysian people, diabetes also is the higher contributor into diabetes in the world. The pupil need to be aware of this dangerous disease in order to deal with the disease and reduce the rate of chronic diseases in Malaysia. Okay, and my last point is how to deal and overcome about obesity cases. Okay, obesity can be overcome through treatment and also intervention to patient. According to expert, obese patient can lose weight by doing exercising activity and change the food menu from unhealthy to healthy food, dan improve behavior toward food. Okay, the formula for losing weight is simple. The more you move, the more calories you can burn, and the faster to lose the weight. To lose 1 kilogram fat, you need to burn 7,700 calories by exercising. For starter, obese people can work slowly to increase daily physical activity. What I'm research in their healthy and physical website, obesity people can also cannot be doing heavy exercising because give their some injuries immediately, because their body weight is a heavy situation. Combining physical activity uh, and with proper diet, we increase the chance to reduce obesity diseases. At the same time, you can losing the weight effectively. Okay, that's all from me to explanation about obesity. and how to deal and overcome about obesity for people and human. Thank you. I will give back to moderator to explain about conclusion. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Zamshah. Very good explanation. That give us a lot of knowledge about the effect and ways of overcoming problem. We must take note of the effect, so that we are always vigilant in taking care of our nutrition. And from the explanation of Dr. Zamshah early, the main effect of obesity is that we will be easily attacked by these diseases such as heart attack, diabetes, and give reach to the chronic cases. Okay, however, these all chronic cases can be avoided with exercise, healthy food, and daily life. As the Al-Muzamshah said, the formula for losing weight is simple. The more you move, the more calories you burn, and the faster to lose weight. That's right, Dr. Al-Muzamshah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the conclusion of this topic, I would like to share that the rate of obesity is increasing in Malaysia society. Therefore, we should always remember and take care of health, regardless of nutrition and exercise. Okay, we should take the content of our discussion or webinar this time. That's all for today. Thank you to all the panel, four panel and audience. We may benefit and practice in our daily life about our discussion. Thank you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you
Thank
to
you.
all the panelists
Thank
also.
you.